Wanda and Vision. WandaVision. Two characters of the Marvel Universe that I just wasn't the fondest of. I felt like Vision's best moment was in Age of Ultron movie, and Wanda has her strongest points in the Infinity War movie. But after that, it's just like, And Marvel decided to try to give you a series to get these characters to grow on you and see what they're going through and see how they're dealing with life. And there's some very strong points, but for me, this series takes a long time to get to those strong points that really make you grow and like, I respect this character now. And on this episode movie breakdown series review, I'm going to review WandaVision. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdowns. I'm your host, Ali Zakka. What's up, world? Welcome to another episode of Movie Breakdown Series Review. I'm your host, Ali Zakka, and welcome to Movie Breakdown Series Review. It's a series review. We look at a TV show, a movie series, give it a grade to each individual episode or each individual plot of that series or each individual season, and at the end I'll give it an overall grade. Some shows only have one season, like today's WandaVision, so it's gonna be one grade overall. Other shows have multiple seasons that we give a review on, like Hunter x Hunter. But that's pretty much what it is. And we give it a grade, A through F, plus or minus do count. And at the end of it, we give an overall arcing grade. One of the ones I completed, Harry Potter series, the X-Men series, and got a few others coming down the pipe. And there's a series we want to review. Let me know. Please put in the comment section below and I get to it the best I can. Now, I also have a Patreon/Ali Zakka. Shout out to Tyler Phoenix, one of my Patreon members. You can jump in front of everybody. Movies you want me to review, I go find it for you and get it out there because you're paying for my services and I go do that. Now, also with that Patreon, you get extra content such as trade reaction, trade reviews, much more stuff. Now, let's get into today's episode of WandaVision from the year 2021. Now, what is WandaVision about? It's about Wanda, the Avenger, who after the Infinity War event and the Endgame event, she is dealing with the loss of Vision. She's dealing with her life being flipped completely upside down once again. She already lost her parents, she lost her brother, and now she lost Vision. And by the way, guys, this is a spoiler review, so if you haven't seen WandaVision, go watch it. It's only 9 episodes that each one lasts between 30 minutes to an hour. So take the time to watch it if you're really invested in these characters. And if you're not, stick around because I'm going to talk about this season and this series. But Wanda is really suffering. She is dealing with the trauma of loss and the pain of it all. And pretty much what she's doing to hide it, she pretty much kidnaps a whole town in New Jersey and makes them live their life throughout like versions of different TV shows and sitcoms that she grew up and loved throughout the time. And at first she doesn't think if she's doing anything wrong. To her, she's like, I'm just rewriting everything. I don't know how I did it, but this is the world I live in. Vision is back. I am happy with what I got. The problem is her happiness is causing everybody else to suffer. And she doesn't see it until certain pieces of her world starts breaking apart, or certain people find a way to get entangled into what she's doing. Is causing little nooks and crannies into the clog of the machine that she created. So now that she's coming more and more back to reality as she's handling her loss and suffering. Also, Vision is another piece of why her world is not staying the same, because he's like, something happened, I don't know what, and he's kind of like, he had a little bit of a memory loss, but kind of find out that the reason why he doesn't have all his memories is because he's only a memory of Wanda's reality. The Vision that we see throughout this series is pretty much Wanda's mind, and that's why he doesn't understand what happens, because to him, he is never experiencing anything that wasn't there, that Wanda wasn't there for. Introducing other characters from different Marvel movies who come in as side characters who have a bigger part in this season to figure out how to resolve the situation. And it becomes really a mystery series on like, how did Wanda create this world and what can be done about what's going on. And that's what this turns out to. Vision is dead. We all seen Endgame. We all seen Infinity War. He is dead, but yet he's brought back to life. How did he do it? Also, there's another machine Vision. So there's two Visions, which is the real one. So all these things you get in this season that like plays out. And to be honest, on my first thoughts of this, I seen the first 2 episodes months ago. Couldn't finish it. The first 2 episodes are a drag to get through. They're really tough to get through and just like tough to watch. It only has 9 episodes. And episode 8 to me is when it really picks up. That's not a good thing. Episode 1 through 7 is like, man, it's tough. And I personally did not care for the Wanda section of it when she's going through different sitcoms, different TV shows and things like that. I was like, this it's not really that great. But then when I go back to the real world, that's when I got myself more invested in it. Maria Rambeau, who is the daughter, Monica Rambeau, who is the daughter of Maria Rambeau from Captain Marvel movie, she's in this, and she is the character known as Photon. She's like a major driver. Like, she lost her mother, and when the blip happened and she got blipped back into reality, 5 years has passed and she missed her mom's death. So she's dealing with this. She's dealing with the loss, and she's like can empathize with Wanda, who's going through the similar things. You also have Jimmy Woo, who's back from Ant-Man and Wasp. And you have Kat Dennings' character Darcy, who's from the Thor series. She's in this movie, in this series as well. So it's cool seeing these characters back and them being them. I appreciate those characters, but when they were trying to figure out the mystery on how Wanda did this, I appreciate them more versus the Wanda reality that we was living through. And a few other things that I liked about this series, before I jump into characters, is that the design and the direction and the little tips and little, not even tips, but little, not hints, I don't know what to call them, but like little, not even sudden movements. I don't know what the word I want to use, but like there are certain things where the frame would change. When you go back into WandaVision, it looks more like a TV show, or more like you're watching a certain aspect ratio, and then when it goes back into the real world, the aspect ratio changes. And I like those little attention to details like that. Also, if you're a huge nerd and you know the Marvel universe, you will find appreciation out of little things like Evan Peters being back as Quicksilver, and you're like, oh, that's a Quicksilver in the X-Men universe, and not Aaron Johnson Taylor, I think his name is, or Aaron Taylor, I can't think of his actual, is in the middle segment there, who played Quicksilver in the Age of Ultron movie. So you get those little like Easter eggs, or Wanda and Vision wearing their actual comic book costume from the comic books in the Halloween episodes. Those little details like that you pick up, are like, oh, this is neat. I've been watching the Marvel universe, I know the Marvel history, and all this kind of sprinkled out throughout this series. But the one thing that to me doesn't really help me is the writing of it. It's dry most of the time for me. Some people won't mind it. To me, is really hard to get through and hard to like figure out like, we know that Wanda does this. We just gotta get to the reveal of it. Or I know she's dealing with loss. Maybe because I know that in the comic books similar things happen. It's how you get the House of M storyline when Vision dies. She disassembles the Avengers. Wanda's one of the main reasons why the Avengers gets disassembled. So maybe I knew this is gonna happen. So to me, it was just like, okay, we gotta get through this. We know that she's dealing with loss of vision. That's why she kind of goes not crazy. In the comic book, she goes crazy, but in the TV show, she just loses it a little bit. I'm like, okay, I want to get through this. We know what happens. Come on, get through it. And like, they kept dragging out the reveal, like more and more. Like, we know Wanda can change reality, but they kept dragging it out more and more and more. And one more thing I want to talk about before I get into the characters is the one more like Easter egg. So in the Age of Ultron movie, Wanda had this little like sneak walk she did before she started adding like nightmares to people. She does that little sneak walk in this series in the last few episodes actually, where she does it to this character named Agnes, who I'm gonna talk about. And I was like, I appreciate that. I appreciate a little attention to details through the Marvel Universe that is plugged into this series that, you know, it adds a little more familiarity to these characters that might not be your strongest Avengers that you care about. And speaking of characters, let's go ahead and get into it. First, the creator of this series is Jack Schaefer. He created for television by him. The writers, let me see if it has any of them in this. It's different writers that work on this show. And characters. Elizabeth Olsen as Wanda. Elizabeth Olsen has grown on me. I think when she first introduced Wanda in the Civil War, I keep on saying Civil War, but Age of Ultron movie, I thought she wasn't that strong of a character. She hasn't really developed into that character yet, and throughout this progress of the Avengers series, Elizabeth Olsen has done a good job becoming a strong Wanda character. I think she is literally the embodiment of Wanda now, and I appreciate that. She did the work and she did a good job making Wanda more of a character that I get attached to now. And Elizabeth Olsen does a great job. She does good with the emotion. She does good with when she needs to be stern, and she makes Wanda believable, and I appreciate that. In Age of Ultron, it was kind of harder for you to get behind Elizabeth Olsen's Scarlet Witch character, but now you're like fully invested in this character, and I think she does a good job. And to me, she did a good job in Civil War and Infinity War as well. So, good for Elizabeth Olsen. Paul Bettany as Vision. I think Paul Bettany is great as Vision. Matter of fact, him and Elizabeth Olsen play off each other so well. Even like the argument scene where they go back and forth. Some good work. Agnes, who is played by Catherine Hahn, I thought she did a good job. The quirkiness of Agnes that Catherine brings to the table, the little, movement and the winks and all the little goofiness that she brings in, and then the seriousness of when you figure out who Agnes is and that she's actual like another witch who's just kind of been sucked into this world and trying to figure out how does Scarlet Witch do what she's doing. I thought it was kind of cool. And I do like the final fight scene where it wasn't just a fist fight to the end. It was a little bit of like mind games where Scarlet Witch, who is shown to be a very strategic character, uses what she learns from Agnes to beat Agnes. And I thought that was a great little twist to the series where most of the time it just, the final fight or the lightning in the sky and we got to blow up the machine, it's more like a mental thing. And yes, they had the battles in the sky and fighting each other in mid-air, but it was pretty cool to see how Scarlet Witch beat Agnes. Monica Rambeau, who played by Tiana Paris, thought she did a great job, and I wanted to know more about Tiana's character. I want to know more about Monica Rambeau. We get her in the Captain Marvel movie. I wanted to see her more on the, in this series, and I thought her and Scarlet Witch is going to have more of a like heart-to-heart, like, hey, I know what you've been going through, but they tried, but Scarlet Witch would keep pushing her away, and she realized that Monica Rambeau is actually a ally and not somebody who's trying to get after her. Because we do get the military at one point who was trying to stop Scarlet Witch and trying to find a way to get the Vision to work. So that's going to bring in the next character, who's played by Josh Stamberg, who is Tyler Hayward. He is some guy that works for Sword, I think. I don't know who he really is. He's just the dude in the series who got like authorization to work on disassembling Vision after the incidents of the Infinity War. So he's working on Vision, tearing him down, and he's been around the whole time. But when Wanda comes back and sees Vision's body and leaves, and she creates a whole rescue area, he is like trying to hunt down Wanda and try to find a way to look like he's creating a new version of Vision so he can kill Wanda. I don't know what his motivation is, to be honest. I think about it. He's just a generic bad guy. He already has Vision, so why is he trying to hunt down Vision? He even makes the robotic Vision work. So I don't get it. He was trying to pin on Vision, Wanda taking Vision, but Wanda using Vision as a memory, so that doesn't make sense. He wasn't a strong character, and his motivation was pointless. Yeah. But yeah, now that I think about it, the military really shouldn't have been there. Because they had Vision, and they made him work properly. But yet they were trying to attack Wanda versus just telling her to stop. Which Monica Rambeau and Darcy and Jimmy was all doing the right thing when they're trying to help her realize, hey, we can help you talk through this. You just gotta let everybody go. Wanda wasn't a threat, but yet the military was posted up. And Tyler's character was trying to be this overarching bad guy for no reason. Why? Wanda didn't because at first, in the first 7 episodes, it looked like Wanda took Vision's body back, and that's how she make Vision back to life. But in reality, she never took his body. The guy had his body the whole time. Vision was sitting posted up in the outside of Wanda's Westview world the whole time. So why was he there to try to blame Wanda when Wanda never took the body? There's evidence of that. Y'all have footage. Makes no sense. Kat Dennings, who played Darcy, I thought she was great. I enjoyed her in this series. I'm glad to see her back. Randall Park, who played Jimmy Woo, also thought he was great. And then Evan Peters, who plays Fake Pietro, or Ralph Boner is his name, who came back for Just a Dick Joke. I thought he was great too. But yeah, that Tyler character was pointless. And Agnes was shown to be like the bad guy, but reality, she didn't really do anything but just pretty much troll Wanda. Like, she did this to mess with Wanda's world, but reality wasn't really, harming Wanda. Like, she brought in Fake Pietro and she did all these little things to kind of get Wanda to try to unravel what Wanda really did. But in reality, Agnes didn't create the world, she was just messing with Wanda. And at first, when you first see it, you kind of do like, who is Agnes? What she knows about this? You think that she's actually working with Wanda. In reality, is completely different. Wanda didn't even know who Agnes was. But it's cool. The show was okay. To me, it was just fine. The last 2 episodes really carry the series for me. Other than that, the first 2 episodes are tough to get through, and the middle is like meh. So it's okay. It's okay. Let's see here. Anything else I want to talk about before I get into my final thoughts? Not really anything else. I do appreciate them hinting to other universes and other series. The color was good. The artwork and design of the show, the lighting was good. I like those. I appreciate that stuff. I appreciate the mystery aspect of it. The acting is solid. I think, Elizabeth Olsen and Paul Bettany does a great job with their characters, and acting is great. It's just the middle section in the first 2 episodes of this series doesn't do it justice, and then the last 2 you're like, the payoff is yes. But Act 1 and Act 2 is just, tough to get through. This is a series you should watch. If you're a huge Marvel fan, definitely force yourself to watch it. Definitely get through it. I had to binge it. If it came out week by week, I couldn't. It did. I couldn't do it, to be honest. You have to binge it to get through it, and definitely is a series that you should watch. It's gonna have ramifications from this series. the series will play out on the whole grand scheme of things when it comes to the Marvel Universe. So if you're a Marvel fan, definitely watch it. If you're not, if you want to look like talk about loss and grief, which this definitely plays on, and I think it's the more stronger aspect of this season, of this series, with how Wanda deals with loss and how Monica Rambeau deals with loss, and how they both had different things, and one person just has the ability to change her reality while the other person has to like sit through it. That is a tough conversation to have. I think I love how it plays on that, and how each person deals with grief and loss in life differently from the others. But it's not really a series that like you really would love to watch if you're somebody who's not into this universe. It's fun to see the little, you know, sitcom stuff, and the reason why she uses sitcom stuff is that's what she grew up watching. So that's why she uses that to help her get through her grievance. But it's really hard to watch as a fan who, if you're not really a fan of this, you'd be like, it's okay. So if you're a Marvel fan, definitely watch it. If you're not, don't really spend your time on it. If you were somebody who want to watch the universe, you want to watch the universe unfold for the Marvel Universe, you know what's going on in the movies, definitely watch it. But if you're not, I think you'll be okay with it. Grading time. I'm going to grade WandaVision from 2021 a C+. It's a C+. The ending of it really brings it home. Her conflict and her inner turmoil, Wanda's inner turmoil with everything. It's really strong. It's really, you know, impactful. Just the 7 episodes to get to the 8 and 9 is really like, whew, okay, we got through it. And I do like the whole real world aspect of it, of Monica, Jimmy, and Darcy dealing with like how to figure out how to help out Wanda but stop the military. But the military guys are just like, they're not necessary when you look back on it. And Agnes as a villain, she's okay. She just gives the series like a big conclusion, but she's not really, you know, a major part of it. And then on top of that, I guess it's a higher grade than like a C or a C minus, because the acting is great in this series. The lighting, directing, the costume design, all that is solid. The storyline can be much better, but the pacing of it is really not as strong. And as far as storyline, if it was like maybe 1 or 2 episodes of her like mixing stuff up and it flipped in and back to the real world stuff versus you watching it through, I think it would be more impactful. But the pacing of let's get to the reveal that like, yes, Wanda, we knew you did it. It's just, whoosh, it's tough. So, C+. If you've seen WandaVision, what do you think? Please put in the comment section below. Other than that, see you guys in the next episode where we break down series review. Keep being awesome. Thank you guys for watching this episode. I really appreciate it. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Also, you want to see what else I'm doing in my normal life and other things that's going on, please follow me on Instagram at Ali_Zakka. I'll put it right here around my face. Yep, right there. Also, if you want more episodes of movie breakdowns or grind towards success or whatever it is I'm doing on YouTube, you know what? Follow my page right here, like I said before, the little comment thing right there, And then you can watch the last episode of Movie Breakdowns right here, and watch the last episode of Grind Towards Success right there. Other than that, thank you guys so much. I really appreciate y'all. See y'all next time. Keep being awesome.